Yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. Pain for their disease. Breathe just like a weed, spread into the streets. It's time to make them bleed. 'Cause we just want retribution. Let's go light up the darkness. Make true of an empty promise. Flip cards in the weekend, harmless. Take to the
Well, we are past the halfway point in the build-up to Fearless as we now close in on brand supremacy battling. And tonight's main event sees champ versus champion in the men's division, just to get a little taste of what is to come at Fearless. But yes, the rest of the card stacked to the brim with explosive action. So let's send it to the ring for our opener here tonight.
Glamour is forever.
Well, Saskatoon, how's it going? Welcome to Prime Time. And we are kicking it off in a glamorous fashion. Blake Monroe in action in your opener here tonight. Guess what? Glamour is forever. And this is going to be a pretty interesting bout in the build-up to Fearless. Looking to build this prime time roster of ladies to battle for brand supremacy.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring from London, England, Blake Monroe.
Well, Blake looking to be at the forefront of this women's team. That's right, we will be seeing a 5-person roster across each of our brands, both for the men as well as a women's team. And with the form Monroe found herself in during
From Miami, Florida, Lola Vice.
the showdown, you have to feel that she is a shoo-in to make it to that team. Whether or not as captain, that we'll have to see, but a few other bouts here tonight in the women's division could solidify the women's lineup. But for tonight's opener, Monroe, she's got a little feisty firecracker as an opponent. Lola Vice looking to maybe knock the lights out of the glamour. As we are now set, ready, and underway, Monroe and Vice meeting in the middle, a stare down to start things off. No cheap shots, it's just pure aggression. And well, Monroe out of the gates first. Springboard drop kick to land flush onto Vice. But yes, speaking of things, all things showdown. It was a great tournament that we saw a couple of weeks ago, culminating where we did obviously see IPW Underground re-emerging with a new stacked roster. And now that we're into our third week after the live event, it's hard to believe we are 3 weeks after it's important to kind of stress the fact that draft weeks are done. We got all the rosters shaping up. Breakdown last week, phenomenal. With the fact that we saw stars finally emerging. Underground as well, debuts galore. And tonight, we're getting to the thick of things where these brands really just want to build the best teams possible for that battle in literally a week's time now. But yeah, going back to the showdown, Blake Monroe, although she finished in 5th seed, making it as a, well, last seed in that division, the teal division, obviously being the closest of the 4, where 1st seed was literally on 15 points, 5th seed on 11, everyone else nowhere near that mark. Blake, we saw do some great things, early control in that division. Sure, it fell off, but she got some big-time victories over now the former Ruby Belt champion Becky Lynch, as well as some other names that fall into that same bucket of dominance. Like Lady Flammer, who also had a phenomenal tournament. She finished 1st seed in that division. But now we turn our attention back into this matchup. Blake battling fairly well here with Vice. And I say that Vice now on the offensive, spilling the action out to ringside. Ooh, stiff headbutt. Monroe connecting, but all that seemed to have done is fired up Vice, who's unloading some roundhouse kicks, finishing it off with one up top. And she is now back on the offensive. Snap vertical suplex out from Lola. Referee issuing the count. It is the fantabulous Miss Kim, who's obviously stickler for those rules. We did see over recent weeks some leniency in rules from our officials, where rope breaks not being called, as well as some missed DQable actions. Now that being said, I've heard word from IPW management that, well, they're gonna try and rail that back in as Monroe up top and springs up there and brings Vice crashing down off the top. And now a little Kamigoi, no, knee caught. And Vice back on the offensive. Snapmare takedown, followed up with a boot to the back of Monroe. Blake in trouble. Vice lines her up. The axe kick to the back on point. And it's going to be a little more punishment as the boot drags Monroe to her feet. And the spinning back fist on the money for Lola here. The cover comes through. And that is enough to get the job done. I would call that a shock upset from Lola Vice as she beats the Glamour. And, well, I was saying, Blake should be a shoo-in for the team, but if Lola's able to knock people out and get the job done, like what she's just done, who is safe for this Primetime team? And could Lola make a last-ditch surge to join the roster?
Here is your winner, Lola Vice.
Well, a little shimmy and a shake from Lola in celebration. We've got more action spilling your way next, as a big-time tag team match in the men's division could choose your fearless tag team. Surprisingly, the first time I'm hearing this theme.
The following contest is a tag team match scheduled for one fall, making their way to the ring at a combined weight of 336 pounds. Axiom and Nathan Fraser. Fraxium!
But it's not our first taste of Fraxium here in IPW. They have made a decent splash onto the breakdown roster, but now they find themselves here on Primetime. And it is a prime opportunity to prove that they can potentially run with the big boys and potentially be that fearless tag team. But the winner of this matchup will go on to face last week's winner in the tag team affair.
And their opponents at a combined weight of 595 pounds. Hank Walker and Tank Ledger. Hank in Tank.
In the form of the Motor City Machine Guns. But yeah, Fraxium getting their kind of their filling of the wild, the brash, brazen brutes of Hank and Tank. Two upstarts, and they are filled to the brim with energy. Their debut on Primetime didn't go the way they wanted. Now they get another shot, a chance to showcase their worth here as a unit. And we are, well, I'm pumped because this is potentially going to be a high-octane, high-flying power battle as we get underway. Bear hug early into this matchup here from, I believe that to be Tank. Early tag made here for Fraxium, and there's some stereo super kicks to the jaw. Axiom heads to the apron as well, now looking to fly. Springboard's in, drop kick on the money. But yeah, last week, obviously, we saw a tag team bout, Motor City Machine Guns versus the Street Profits. Obviously, two of the bigger tag teams here on Primetime. A lot changed in terms of the tag team division or tag scene here in IPW since draft week, as, well, basically, Primetime used to be the brand of the tag teams. You used to have so many big names on it. You had Team 3D, GOD, the War Raiders at a point, all serving this Primetime roster. Even Gallus in that mix. Now, you've got these newer teams looking to forge a path forward alongside some other sturdier names. DIY still here. You also have the Guns. But I will have to say, IPW Underground as well as Breakdown have now got some solid tag teams. Team 3D now sitting on Breakdown, and Team Extreme debuting last week onto Underground. And while it wasn't the debut they were kind of after, losing out to New Catch Republic, they've still got a chance to build up some momentum. And, well, let's be honest, with Breakdown this week also featuring a heavy tag team matchup between last week's winners in the War Raiders up against Team 3D, you gotta think it's gonna be a pretty epic performance gonna be shown there, considering how dominant the War Raiders actually were last week in action against the Gorillas of Destiny. But yeah, as we focus back on this matchup, Frazier, a little misfire. Hits Axiom there with the chop, as well as his opponent. But high-flying offense is going to work out here for Axiom. The moonsault press connected. And that cover coming out of it. Good for the 2, but nothing more, nothing less. As Frazier looking to build some momentum. The Irish Whip not going to work. Instead, Axiom getting involved. Now, the involvement's kind of given. Hank and Tank back control of this matchup. Irish Whip, though, reversed. No tag going to be needed. Instead, oh, stiff flatliner into that middle turnbuckle. Frazier's starting to just feel himself, really, is the best way of putting it. Just the heavy offense as Tank Walker just dropping back with the side Russian leg sweep, and in comes Hank. Grapple attempted, not going to work. Instead, the second time of asking, he's able to lock in that side Russian leg sweep. Both members of Hank and Tank utilizing that to great effect to control as the world's strongest slam comes through. That's going to put down Nathan Frazier. Momentum, it's certainly shifting here. Frazier avoids, springboard, misses. Wild on the moonsault attempt. And Hank and Tank, they continue to maintain control as Hank Walker just gonna wasteland Frazier in his corner. Axiom in dire needs of a tag here, but it's instead Tank being tagged in for Hank and Tank. A back drop. A collaborative effort. There's a spear. Connects. Axiom. They do make the hot tag. And now it's time for Axiom to get into the action. Whip sends Tank into the corner. Tries one low. Cannot do so. Instead, Axiom continue to control this battle. Axiom fails to connect. Giving back control. And it's going to be another world's strongest slam. Putting down Axiom. Tag made. In comes Hank. He tries to pounce, but it's not going to work out. Instead, Axiom around the world connects with a dropkick. Blake Monroe-esque in its execution. But he doesn't care about that. He just cares that it connected. And controlling the opposition, key to winning this matchup. Control is certainly slipped. Axiom down, being covered here. And you've got to feel at this point in time, it is a fairly even bout between the two teams, but one big shot will certainly set the tone, set potentially the path through the remainder of this matchup. It's that Arabian moonsault, picture perfect from Axiom, but able to kick out is Hank and Tank, and now they're on the offensive. The black hole slam probably has a different name, but he uses the former television champions maneuver. Cover here for Tank. It's good for 2. Kick out comes through for Axiom. Pops him up, almost launching him. I thought maybe a big time power slam was coming through, but not going to be the case. Back into the ring comes Tank Walker. Axiom taking back control. Standing Spanish fly on the money. Back to his feet is Tank, and he's caught Axiom trying to escape. And that is costly as he eats a Manhattan drop on the arse. Scooped up once more. Axiom tossed around with ease. You know. Well, he's going to make a tag here. Both teams making tags. In comes Hank. So we're focusing quite hard onto Tank. Regardless of that, Nathan Frazier now legal once again. Springboard offense key. Moonsault misses. Shoulder tackle does not for Hank. Irish whip reverse. It is a jockey for position here. And well, another flatliner into the corner. It's going to cause some carnage. And it gives Frazier a chance to tag out. In comes Axiom. On the money. Shining Wizard. Just brash with that shot. No answer from Hank Walker. One of them's a Walker. Who cares which? Either way, Hank and Tank, they're in trouble. As Fraxium, backdrop, delivered. And they can potentially look to close out this battle. Well, they could. If the action stayed in the ring, Sling Blade comes through. Frazier's chasing down his opponent. Hank in trouble in the drop zone. And again, Frazier's moonsaults don't seem to be landing where he would like him. He falls short once more. And well, he's going to be volleyed to more offense. Launched into the ring post. And that could spell the demise of him. And now a deadlift. Pop top in trouble. And we have a double count out. A draw. Not what I expected. But Hank and Tank, they had control. They put Frazier down. He was basically out of it once he was launched into the ring post. But no, they wanted to put a statement in. They wanted Frazier to know he was done. And thus, when our referee Big Man Gregathy issued the 10, we got a double count out. A draw for the first time in a long time. But yes, with that result in the books, we head to our third bout tonight, and it is hopefully going to be a lot more of what we just saw, but with a different ending. Well, it's the first time we're seeing this man since he was drafted. And ole to you.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from the Gulf of America. Weighing in at 202 pounds. El Grande Americano.
As El Grande Americano leaves behind Breakdown and comes to the promised land of Primetime. And it's an interesting proposition here, as I believe the original El Grande also has shifted brands over to IPW Underground, as both of them leave Breakdown still with a little bit of anger towards one another. Another man who left Breakdown as well. Well, he's a hard hitter. Brash and brazen. Normally, you hear a Metallica song towards his name.
And his opponent from Philadelphia, weighing in at 240 pounds, the Sandman.
But the Sandman, he's looking to find some success. Former Amethyst champion now finds himself on Primetime, and well, a potential slight in his future is that television championship here, of which the champion newly crowned a couple of weeks ago during draft week in Psycho Clown. He'll be in action in your main event as we continue our fearless warm-ups with the champions facing off against one another. But for now, you kind of look at this battle as potentially a quote-unquote championship eliminator. If I had to be a betting man, my money would probably be on the Sandman to win this. Reason being, obviously, is, well, he is a former champion in IPW. A feat that El Grande failed to achieve as the Prospects Cup winner. So as we look at this bout, we ready ourselves for some hard-hitting action. Will it be the Sandman or El Grande Americano picking up the victory here at the halfway point of tonight's epic show? Well, the bell rings and Sandman out of the gate first, charging in. He misses the clothesline, but he doesn't miss on the grapple. And a side headlock garnered. Transitioning out of that position. Standing STO on the money, but El Grande sweeps out the legs on, well, exit of that maneuver. Early pinfall attempt out of it as well, and well, the Sandman back on the offensive, back elbow. It was very delayed. He held it up for a long period of time. He was able to connect that. Springboard crossbody attempted. And falling short is El Grande. As the Sandman begins to work over the Gulf of Mexico star. And realistically, when you look at both these two, a lot of accomplishments in IPW. I would say both of them have performed in some high-stakes matchups. Locked in the chamber for El Grande, or was it the other El Grande? I don't remember. It's hard to keep up when there are literally two of them doing completely different things, or near about the same thing, actually. The Uprising tournament, I believe both competed. Obviously, one won out in the form of El Grande. I believe both have also competed at Conquest, in the Conquest matchup. A bout that it is grueling, regardless of whether or not you win it. You're in there for, well, all of it, and only one can win that matchup, and not many people have been able to do that in the short time IPW's been around. That being said, we are into our second year, and we're past the halfway stage of the year as well. Boy, has time flown. But now, focusing back in on this matchup, El Grande in control. Boot hits the body of the Sandman, and now looking to put him away. Snapmare takedown off the ropes. Oh, a PK on the money. And it's a good kick. And El Grande looks to put in the finishing statement. The Sandman's not having it. Oh, neck breaker. Dropping the neck of El Grande into that knee. It's on the money. But speaking of on the money, the headbutt hits the target. And El Grande's back in control. The cover here. 1, 2, 3. Kick out there. And El Grande, he thought he got the job done, but the Sandman resilient as ever. There's a reason he's an ECW legend. He can absorb punishment and just be able to keep on going. And going and going. El Grande back in control. Butterfly up. Though counted. Sandman. Arm drag takedown. And now he can begin his assault. Punches to the side of the mask. And now targeting the arm. With the Sandman, you know what he wants. He wants that spike pile driver. Or even a swanton bomb. But submission offense also in the playbook here. As El Grande's trying to fly this time, will be able to. Cross body will find its mark. He's really trying to close in on the victory. He's hit his big shots. Sandman has not. But El Grande's found the point. No. Backdrop out from the Sandman to escape that perilous position as he ascends to the heavens now. This could be it. Swanton bomb on the money. The high rent district. It's charging its fees. And the Sandman is collecting with a finale of a finish. A spike pile driver. 1, 2, 3. No. Not enough to put him down. And the second attempt at it won't even come to bear fruits. El Grande launch now to the outside. The Sandman realizes he's thrown his big shots in. El Grande tried for his, but he is caught and then not going to be able to connect anything else. Running clothesline might change the tune, and a cover here now. El Grande on top. Good for the 2. Sandman rolls the shoulder up to stay in this bout. Running European uppercut though. He may have stayed in it. But El Grande is still attacking. Scoops him up. Puts him down. And again a whip. Puts Sandman in the corner. A scoop up again, but this time a reversal. And the DDT is going to bust open El Grande. The Sandman back in control. And he's charging into the corner. Connects with the forearm smash. And now a attempted rolling senton, not going to connect, and now caught. El Grande hooks the arm, seatbelt locked in tight. The cover is hard to kick out of, and well, Sandman finds a way, but he can't find a way to avoid the headbutt. El Grande hits it flush, and the cover comes through and gets the job done. Well, the song's saying what we can think of right now. Ole! The bull hits the horn straight into the chest. El Grande gets it done against the former Sapphire champion. And you gotta think, this should launch him towards the television championship perfectly.
Here is your winner, El Grande Americano.
But we shall have to see what Eve Torres thinks about that. She looks for future challenges, but for now we move into the second half of the show where things get a little bit more spicy with a 6-woman tag team affair. Well, in the build-up to Fearless, where we will be seeing 8-way tag team elimination bouts. We got an opener tonight on that style of matchup.
The following contest is a 6-woman tag match. Introducing first, representing the Culling from Buchanan, Michigan, Izzy Dave.
And while it won't be a pure elimination tag bout here tonight, it is certainly a bout to get us in the feel for 8-person tag team action. Izzy Dame out here first. The first sight of her in quite some time. She's been one of those stars that likes to show up in perilous situations where the chances are pretty hard to overcome. Well, it's hard to tell what they are now.
And from Dallas, Texas, Tatum Paxley.
Whether it's former friends or now allies, Paxley and Dame are gonna be working together here tonight. And you know this is gonna either be explosive in the form of this team, or they are gonna coexist to overcome the odds. We'll see if they're able to do it, because I've just got word of their opponents, and it's not a team you realistically want to be bickering against. And well, BFAB might have to be playing Peacemaker.
And their partner, representing the Street Profits from Canton, Ohio, BFAB.
In this one, as this roughshod lineup of ladies, you have to feel could be all contenders for the Prospects Championship. With this division being, I would say, arguably very wide open as to who will and won't be in that title hunt. We obviously saw a couple of stars recently challenge Fakir for the belt. Recently, they've all fallen short. Last week we did see Stephanie in action in a losing battle to the undisputed Women's World Television Champion, Utami Hayashishita. Well, speaking of Utami, part of her faction is going to be battling against Paxley, BFAB, and Dame.
And their opponents, first, from Tokyo, Japan, AZM.
AZM coming to the ring for the Queen's Quest contingent this usually means that, well, you got to feel that the rest of Queen's Quest are going to be shortly following behind AZM here. Well, I'm not wrong. It's not the Red Queen. It's the Phoenix Queen, rising from the ashes.
And from Kamakura, Kanagawa, Japan, one half of the undisputed women's tag team champions, Sarah, Carrie, Tammy.
Isaiah Kamitani, tag champ, ready to battle here tonight. And it's been interesting for the Queen's Quest tag champions, as they have been battling across each brand. Last week, they had a matchup where they won against Maxine Dupree and Ivy Nile on Tuesday night. They took Thursday off and found themselves back in the ring on Sunday. Now the tag champions back in the ring here on Tuesday night. And yes, I say champions because they're both out here tonight. They're both needing to battle up against
And their partner from Japan, one half of the undisputed women's tag team champions, Black Beach.
up against this contingency of, I would say, upstart battlers and brawlers. The Black Peach here to bring her experience alongside Seiya Kamitani to aid AZM to pick up her first ever win here in IPW. It's hard to believe that she is yet to earn a win in her career. And well, she's going to start off the action here against Izzy Dame. And well, straight out the gates, Dame on the offensive. AZM gonna finally swiddle back control. Moonsault. First taste of a pin as well. Gets a 1 count over Dame. We know AZM. She's quick. She's very, very agile. And well, it looks like tonight she just wants to fly. 2 springboard maneuvers. And now uncorks a stiff roundhouse. Paxley now legal for her team. AZM able to battle well here against Tatum. Puts her in the corner. Trying to keep her trapped in Queen's Quest territory. Paxley's able to fight out of it. Neck breaker on the money. Again, she's chucked back in. And again, she gets the elbow up to stop AZM. Tatum controlling the neck now of AZM across that top rope. And she's starting to build some momentum. An Irish whip, dropkick. Barely catches AZM, but AZM's still able to stand. And now she's going for a little roll. Crucifix into the pin, finally. The O'Connor roll almost working out for her. But she stalls out of the suplex. Tatum now back, has control. AZM gut kick to escape said control. And the speed starting to show here as tag made. In comes one half of the tag champion, Saya Kamitani, launched in with a shoulder tackle. And Phoenix Queen doing what she does best. Controlling the bout. Puts Paxley back into Queen's Quest territory. She's quickly reversing a pump kick in the corner. That's just gruesome. Paxley hung out there from it. Another whip reversal. This time Tatum controlling Kamitani in Queen's Quest territory. Now applying the knee to the throat of Saya. You've got to think that at this stage of the game, if you're Tatum, you might want to get out of there. And I think she's thinking that too as she makes the tag. In comes B-Fab. And B-Fab lands a gut punch but cannot follow up with her own big shots. As Kamitani floats over the top and lands a powerbomb. Phoenix Queen starting to rise into this bout. Axe kick landing onto the back of the head. B-Fab's put down, and it gives a chance for Kamitani to tag out and bring in Momo. But Inabe tries for the tag once again. As, well, the Black Peach sent to the corner. B-Fab tags out, in comes Dame. Freshening the faces in the ring. It's smart offense here from Dame, B-Fab, and Paxley. As Tatum, Dame charges around the ring. Well, the combo comes through. Jawbreaker as well. As now, Dame versus Momo is certainly an interesting bout to me. You've got the height of Dame, but both of them bring that sort of emo energy. Same with Saya Kamitani. And then you just have AZM here who doesn't fit the mold of the hate lineup. That's not why she's here. The Queen's Quest lineup, it is basically two Regal stars in Azumi, AZM, and Utami. Along with the hateful side of things with Momo and Saya, as the cover comes through here for Dame. Having a way here with Momo. Quick kick out at one, though, for the Black Peach. Scooped up, span out into the side slam. Dame's connecting, and she makes a tag out here, but in comes Saya Kamitani. Back into the picture, and she's up and down with a head scissor takedown. Now lining up B-Fab for a Kamigoya. On the money, she falls into the pin. 1, 2. Oh, nearly. Paxley enters the ring as B-Fab kicks out of that position. You've got to feel now a bit of danger. But B-Fab eats the poison rana. Saya. Springboard potentially, and will get it. Leg drop finds the target. B-Fab really struggling now. Irish whip puts her back into Queen's Quest territory. Tag made. AZM now legal. And this could be smart. A way to get as AZM her first win, but tag made. Paxley back into the matchup. Zumi needs to battle. Rolls away from the grapple. Cannot roll away from a rolling thunder. The scorpion tail kick connecting. And Paxley, well, it connected. But nothing else seems to have connected. As AZM's just battling back. Crucifix pin. Rolling through with it. AZM trying to wear down Paxley, and a cover finally initiated. But it's not even going to get a one, but all it seems to have done is just annoyed Tatum. She fires up and tosses AZM to the corner. Tag made, back in comes Dame. This, I would feel, is the sort of matchup that Dame, Paxley, and BFAB would like. Keep AZM in the ring. Isolate her away from the rest of the Queen's Quest contingent. And just pummel the star without a win here in IPW. AZM battles back to her feet. Waist control gained here over Tatum. And around the world she goes with a head scissor takedown. On Dame, I should say. Izzy watching on. Tries for the grapple. Gets it the second time of asking. Big boot not going to connect. Dropkick not going to connect for AZM. AZM rolls through. Up, over, top. Rolling through into the powerbomb. AZM. Scoop up. Slam down. Dame in the drop zone. Crawling to safety. Makes the tag. BFAB now legal with a pump kick. Hits the target, but now comes Momo. The Black Peach legal. Caught. Oh, vicious from BFAB. A nip up from Momo. But she's caught. Twisting. Oh, skull-crushing finale, I think it is. Montani breaks up the pin as AZM just going to be tossed about, thrown into enemy territory. That's a mistake, I think, from BFAB. It gives Momo a chance to recover. Watanabe's going to punish. Shoulder breaker. Tag out. In comes Kamitani. BFAB might have hit the big shots, but it was on to Momo, not Saya. And Kamitani can look to maybe punish. I say she might be. Momo's doing the job for her. Kick down south. Butterfly. Up and down. Butterfly suplex out from Watanabe. Saya axe kick to the back on the money. Now she ascends the barricade. Looking to fly. Never mind. Thinks better of it. Realizes the count. Count of 6. I think it's 7. BFAB returned to the ring. Saya gonna do the same thing. Kamitani tries for the dropkick, but BFAB realizes what's coming. But she cannot realize the follow-up. Oh, but she can avoid it. The butterfly not gonna work here for Kamitani. BFAB drops her. Now pulling at the arm. A lot of back and forthing, but when the tag champions have entered the ring, they have looked pretty dominant. As now Dame working well there with BFAB. She's goozled Saya. But the back elbow from Kamitani escapes the chokehold. And she lands a perfect drop kick to put down Dame. Kamitani tossing Dame to the corner. I'll follow it up. Is he able to fight back? Whip, though, reversed. Saya. Big, long legs being put to good use here. Choking Dame in the corner. Not from a standing position, now from a seated. Another tag made. In comes AZM. Zumi. Trying for that DDT. Not going to connect it as Dame fights away. Escapes the position, but the whip comes through. Azumi going to avoid the follow-up offense. Instead, she tags out. Back in comes Saya. And the Phoenix Queen tries for the grapple. She avoids Dame's grapple, but she cannot avoid the follow-up punches. Side Russian leg sweep as well from Izzy. Dame controlling now. Tag made. In comes B-Fab. Drops the axe onto the arm. Kamitani still stands though. Springboard. Oh, vicious with the forearm. And she's looking for the win here. Cover onto B-Fab. 1, 2. No, near fall. And Dame and Paxley watching on. Realizes their partner could kick out. But for how much longer? Does she have fight left? B-Fab reversing the whip. Now it's her turn to use the big, long legs to great use. Choking Kamitani in the corner. Charging in. Just to paintbrush her. Cover now onto Kamitani. Good for the one. And only the one. No big shots really landed onto Saya. It's only Momo that's absorbed heavy punishment here for Queen's Quest. Phoenix driver here. Or Michinoku, as it's also known. Saya hitting her mark. Now she's taking it to the rest of the opposition. Kamitani connects. The first was the Michinoku. That's the Phoenix driver. Cover in tight. Paxley forced to enter the ring to break it up. Springboard moonsault. Saya hitting her mark once more. Kamitani not done. Lining up the shot to put away B-Fab, but I believe she misses. B-Fab tries to follow it up. She can't get her shot. Kamitani scoops her up. Drives her down with a Michinoku. B-Fab rolls out, but back into the ring. AZM now legal. As Kamitani protecting AZM from the follow-up. As Azumi watching, ready to pounce on B-Fab. Hooks up the waist control and whip comes through. Launching B-Fab over the top. AZM hangs her out to dry on the middle rope. AZM bringing it to both Dame and Paxley on the ring apron. As Watanabe fired up now. Hooks up, but cannot get it. B-Fab fights out the grapple. Tries for the clothesline. Momo avoids. Momo avoiding's not good for you. She tries to go for the tag, but a sweeping leg shot there for B-Fab. Takes back control. A whip through. Momo just grappling with thin air. Closing the gap though. Boot caught. B-Fab knew maybe it was coming for some reason. So did Momo though. But B-Fab did not telegraph her own shot. Momo just there to punish. Oh, twisting into the knee. B-Fab down, the cover good, and that's the win for Queen's Quest. The Black Peach gives AZM her first taste of victory here in IPW. It was a very big shot from Watanabe, the side code-breaker, just doing the job. As we see the Phoenix driver from Kamitani, but immediately Paxley in, break that up, and then this. B-Fab hooked up, Scorpion death drop position, and then twisted into the knees. Momo finds the mark and then the cover for the 3.
Here are your winners, Sarah, Carey, Tammy, Black Beach, and AZM.
What a tag champs and AZM find victory here. Now all that's left is your co-main and main event.
It's Tiffy time!
Well, as we said earlier, it's about Fearless. We're bringing out the big hitters.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall, making her way to the ring from Prior Lake, Minnesota, Tiffany Stratton.
No longer do we get the flashing photography. It's all about the buff Barbie. And there's the buff side of Miss Tiffany Stratton. Time to see if the buffness is just for show or if she can really deliver some powerful shots as she goes up against someone who's here to bring the brutality. The heavy hitters, I said, are here, and well, this is the bout you want them.
And her opponent from Adelaide, South Australia, Rhea Ripley.
Will she be the big dog to represent Primetime during Fearless? A lot of the big names have shifted their allegiances. Fatal Influence now on Breakdown. Becky Lynch, Liv Morgan, Nia Jax all joined the Underground. So those 5-person rosters for that elimination, 4-person rosters for the elimination tag bouts. Could be massive in terms of carnage. So with the fact that names like Stratton and Rhea Ripley still remain loyal to the Primetime brand, you start to wonder which of these rosters actually will be able to hang with the big dogs. Remember, the women's team and the men's teams both have to face off against both brands, and that is certainly a interesting sort of task to do. Obviously, it'll be 4 stars and then another 4 stars from the same brand facing off against both brands in some form of another. So it will be 2 completely different teams of women as well as 2 completely different teams of men for one brand. So it will be technically 16 stars from Primetime and 16 from Breakdown and 16 from the Underground competing in those opening just skirmishes. In total, we're getting 12 bouts in total for the the Fearless card is nice Northern Lights suplex from Rhea, connecting there onto Stratton. And you've got to think that the general managers using these 4 weeks in the build-up to Fearless to test their rosters, to understand who deserves to represent their brand. Right now, you kind of have to feel for Primetime that these two are shoo-ins to be captains of either team. But who they face up against is a real question, because if you look at the breakdown roster in particular, you know that Fallon Henley's probably going to captain one of the teams. You've got Oscar there, but she might be competing in a different matchup. And I believe Solo Sikoa has put together a tester bout for that, depending on the outcome. But there are names across all brands that really could represent the team. Rope break called there by our referee as the headbutt from Rhea connects. She's got Stratton hooked up top for a little razor's edge. Just a rapid toss down into the canvas, followed up with a Shining Wizard. And the kick connects. Rhea's hooked up Tiffany for a little riptide. Plants her out and turns her inside out. Not going to stack her up. Instead, takes waist control, and Stratton able to fight. Roll up here. Schoolgirl pin for Tiffy time. Almost stealing the win here from Rhea. Arm ringer broken as Ripley delivers a stiff shot to the back, now looking to punish Tiffany, but the irate comes through from Stratton. Miss Barbie, or Buff Barbie, catching Rhea. Irish whip now from Tiffy, back elbow finds the mark. And Stratton, she's starting to find the comfort zone up against Rhea. Ripley is struggling to deal with Stratton's offense. Splash from Tiffy connects onto Ripley. Only good for the one, but it is Stratton still maintaining control, still unloading heavy offense onto Rhea. Say heavy offense, nothing big until now. Fireman's carry, but Ripley, elbows to the side of the head, able to escape out of it. The headbutt again from Rhea takes Stratton up top for a razor's edge. Just tossing and then connecting with the Shining Wizard. The hard combo from Rhea. Bloody Ripley is a setup for potentially the end. Another riptide. And Rhea's not gonna stack her, instead a normal pin. Good for the two. And still Tiffany Stratton kicks out. And you have to feel that may be a mistake from Rhea not covering her the first time she landed that. A headbutt though. Again from Rhea. Keeps control. The double axe will not connect here. Stratton unloads. And she continues to unload. Sweeps out Rhea's standing base, and well, she's going to call her up now. Stratton with a drop kick. Perfect in execution. Now lies in wait, waiting for Rhea. And she connects with a forearm smash. Ripley put down in the drop zone for a pretty corkscrew splash from Stratton. Gets a 2 over the Eradicator. Springboards in, fails to connect with the knees. Ripley can't follow it up. She can't capitalize on Stratton's mistake. And Tiffany going to make her pay. This time she connects with a rolling center. Stratton, booty popping moonsault attempted, but Ripley rolls out the way. Rhea connecting with a clothesline. The Eradicator. I was about to say back in control. Well, I'm probably right. And it's a jockey for position as Rhea staggered. She fails to connect the dropkick and now gonna pay. Double axe from Stratton. Just to crown Ripley. Ripley put in the corner again. This time scooped up, but she will escape out of it. DDT from Rhea. Waist control, belly to back. Doorbuster. Stratton and Ripley giving it their all here. Dropkick's not connecting for either. Ripley, though, will put Stratton in the corner. Fired up. Ripley targeting that left boot ankle of Stratton, and she's going to make her pay, busting her open with the knee, and then a clothesline to drop Stratton. Tiffy back to her feet. Dropkick not going to connect. Rhea avoids it. And avoids it by punishing and capitalizing with a Riptide. Cover for the what? Not for the win just yet. Stratton still kicking out. Somehow, someway, finding a means to keep away from that end. Rhea, though, not backing down, not giving up. Sends Tiffy for a run. Hooks her up and a tilt-the-world slam. Ripley dragging Stratton to the corner. Tiffy fights out of the corner, though. Takes up in a backdrop suplex. Now it's Stratton's turn to put Rhea in the corner. Scoops her up and will put her down this time. The little prettiest moonsault ever. On the money. 1, 2, 3. Resiliency from the Barbie overcomes the Eradicator. Rhea just could not get the job done here tonight. 3 Riptides, not enough to put away Tiffany Stratton. And Tiffy, well, it's her time, it seems, here on Primetime to rise up the ranks. Sure, it's not a championship eliminator, but it is potentially captain worthy of Primetime.
Here is your winner, Tiffany Stratton.
Well, it's main event time now. Champ versus champ. Who walks away in the stronger division? Well, Saskatoon, you're in for a treat in your main event. But that's not the music of either champion. This is the sound of a man on a conquest. A ruler is entering the arena.
The following champion versus champion contest is a special referee match. Please welcome the special referee for this match, Oba Femi.
Well, it looks like Obafemi has drawn officiating duties for your main event. It's champ versus champion. And we've seen in previous weeks the ruler setting his sights on to the Rainmaker and his championship. What better way to set his sights by letting him know he's going to be right in the ring with you. Now, thankfully for the Rainmaker, he doesn't have to contend with the ruler until after Fearless, but this is just some gamesmanship from Obafemi. I feel he may be a little biased.
From the Psycho Circus, weighing in at 107 kilos, the undisputed television champion, Psycho Clown.
To the recently crowned new television champion, Psycho Clown. And, well, the fact that we have this new champion certainly is surprising. Overcoming the Monster Abyss in that championship bout. Draft week. It's a pretty interesting thing as well, because Psycho Clown was drafted out of Breakdown on night one of him being on the show. He goes toe-to-toe with Abyss and wins the championship. Now, a completely different level of competition. He has to face a man atop of the world. And a man who's ready to let the money fly.
And his opponent from Japan, weighing in at 236 pounds, the undisputed world heavyweight champion, Rainmaker.
Well, the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, certainly looking composed, considering the odds that have been stacked up against him. This man, he is a phenomenal wrestler, a former PWI #1 ranked wrestler in the world. You have to feel that if there is odds stacked up against him, he is the type of guy to overcome him. Well, this championship versus championship matchup. Forget what I'm saying. We're straight out the gates. Psycho Clown has busted open the Rainmaker. Early rope breaks being exchanged here. As the first move of the matchup, a Mexican Destroyer really sets the tone for this battle. Both champions really want to make a mark here. They will be facing their counterparts across each brand at Fearless, as the Rainmaker will go toe-to-toe with Cody Rhodes, a man he's already beaten. In fact, he beat him for the championship. And then Will Ospreay, a man that shares history with the Rainmaker dating back to the Chaos days in New Japan Pro Wrestling. The Psycho Clown, his bout this coming week, well, in a week's time, it's not an easy one as well. he will be going toe-to-toe with Drew McIntyre. The strongest of the three champions, I would have to say, in the mid-card, as well as Kurt Angle. Well, I say Kurt Angle. That could change end of this week at Underground, as Ludwig Kaiser has stated that Kurt will be having to defend his belt against R-Truth for a second time, after R-Truth was able to get a count-out victory against the champion. But my understanding is there will be no DQ, no countouts this weekend in the main event. Angle will defend against main event R-Truth. Winner takes all. And there is going to be either a new champion or Kurt will retain. There's no other result as... Oh, an Arabian moonsault on the money for Psycho Clown, as he is bringing it here tonight to Okada. The Rainmaker's struggling as a deadlift. Powerbomb. Psycho Clown into the cover. 1, 2. Fair count there by the ruler, but all that seemed to have done is fired up Okada. The Rainmaker caught. Fireman's carry here from Psycho Clown. Up. Pop up. Fist connecting. 1, 2. Kick out there. The Rainmaker back to his feet. He's surviving the heavy shots and now back on the offensive. He's forced Psycho Clown to the mat. Springboard moonsault from Okada. Finds the target. The cover good for 2. Psycho Clown able to kick out of Okada's not his strongest maneuver, but it's still big. And now, again, Psycho Clown hooks him up. Airy crash onto the champ. Cover here once again. 1, 2. He forces the kick out. Rainmaker surviving. It's big shot after big shot though from Psycho Clown, but a roll up here. Okada trying to catch off the television champion. Rainmaker's shot blocked. Psycho Clown. His shot blocked. Okada tries to grapple. Irish whip. Launching. Catch. Release. Belly to belly suplex from the Rainmaker. We know what Okada can do when he wrestles up control. Waist control garnered. Tries for the German instead. Hip toss from Psycho Clown to escape it. And he's trying to follow up with a standing Spanish fly instead. A neck breaker out from Okada. And these two fairly even through the early stages of this one. Oba issuing the count. A count of 3. Make it 4. Psycho Clown standing, watching, waiting. The Rainmaker waits for him. Either backing down. A count of 6. 7 here. Oba continues the count. A count reaches 8. Psycho Clown into the ring. Tries to catch Okada off guard. And both men try to catch each other off guard. Now Psycho up to the top rope. Springboard moonsault falls short. The Rainmaker gonna make him pay. Spinning tombstone. It's gonna be engraved into his tombstone that Okada is looking to win it all here. It's only a 2. Rainmaker not done. He's got plenty of big shots in his kit. He lines up Psycho Clown for 1. Never mind, he's caught. Okada, roll up. 1. Quick kick out by the heavyweight champion. as that Mexican destroyer came out of nowhere. And Psycho Clown continues to try for them big shots. Okada tried for his. Fails to connect. Now Psycho Clown has control. Connects down south. Hooks the arm. Seatbelt in tight. Cover here onto the Rainmaker. Good for the one again. The kick out comes through. Okada connects. Psycho tried for the fireman's lift, but caught with a Rainmaker. Cover for the champ, and that is not that. Psycho Clown still has fight left in him. Rainmaker needs to extinguish that fire. But caught, DDT'd, planted into the canvas. The Psycho Clown lying in wait, ready to pounce. Hooks him up, fireman's carry. Air raid crash. Okada down. 1, 2. The champ kicks out in time. The Psycho Clown, he's still going. Heads up top. Arabian Moonsault meets the knees of the Rainmaker. And Okada trying for again, I think the Rainmaker, but caught. May have been caught, but he is catching Psycho Clown, battering the face, clubbing blows right onto the temple. Heavyweight champion ascends to the middle turnbuckle. Launches and connects with a neck breaker. Cover now. Psycho Clown down. 1, 2, 3. And as expected, the Rainmaker wins. However, it was not a clean bout. Tested early by Psycho Clown. As we see some of the replays here. And we're quite far into matchup. The spinning Tombstone coming through from Okada. Quick cover off it. Well, he did maintain control from that point to some extent. The chop into the Rainmaker, setting up Psycho Clown for the end. Well, it was a very solid performance from Okada after the early scare.
Here is your winner, Rainmaker.
Well, we will have further champ versus champ bouts through the week on Thursday night. It will be a bit of a war. Ospreay versus Drew McIntyre in your opener. And then it will be Kurt Angle versus R-Truth. The main event on Underground. Big week of action still to come. I'll see you Thursday as well as Sunday as we close the gap on Fearless.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big